All that aside, please put your hands together for Roman Reher.
Hello together. Thank you for being here, and I hope I can bring you a little bit new knowledge, because every time someone is coming to the Bitcoin network, he will bring some new ideas, some new knowledge, and we all get this knowledge. It's like we are a global interactive learning network. And yeah, my presentation is Bitcoin and the principles of effectiveness. And my name is Roman Reher. I'm the founder from the company Block Trainer. It's also a YouTube channel. It's the largest German-speaking YouTube channel, and probably no one of you knows that. But maybe you saw this. It's Bitcoin im Bundestag. It's an initiative from the amazing Joanna Kotar, a member from the Bundestag, and their amazing team. And I had the opening speech of this. And yeah, this is what we do in Germany. We try to bring Bitcoin to the people and educate that all truths are in you and yourself. So when you think about Bitcoin and when you talk about Bitcoin, then you realize some things are in yourself. And probably you realize that some behavior of humans are not good. And this is one reason, because a lot of people say we need a state to secure about this bad behavior we probably born with. And a good friend of mine is now working for my company, and he was a pedagogue. And I asked him, so Chris, is this real that some people get born evil, with evil behavior? And he said, no, Roman, that's not the case. People trying to control their life. So some kids are bullying other kids, and this behavior is very bad, for sure. But why do they bully other kids? We were born, and we start, and we feel, for example, cold. And then we scream, and someone will come and bring us a blanket, and it's getting warm. Or we are hungry, and we scream, and someone will bring us some food. But the point is, this is not very effective. We try to be effective by screaming, but we're learning all the time that there are better methods. So we always try to be effective. And when we realize that kids always bully the same kids, it's very simple. They realize they can push a button, and they create a behavior. They create that someone else is crying. They have a reproducible process, which is nothing else than being effective in a world where you try to control your own world and your own life to create security for yourself. And over the time, we learn there are better possibilities to be effective, like going to work, creating our world, getting money, purchasing power, and being effective, and buying effectiveness from other people. This process is great. This process is freedom. But the problem is, not all market participants follow the same process. Some of us, give me a second. It's not very effective, I know. Oh, it was a wrong button. Sorry for that. So some of us can just print money, and it's nothing else than stealing our effectiveness. They are effective with our money without to work for this. So we are in a world where we try to be effective, where everyone tries to be effective in a system which is stealing effectiveness all the time from us. And this process is going crazy since this event. Richard Nixon abolished the gold standard in 1971, and since then, they can print money out of thin air and stealing our effectiveness, our purchasing power. And this is the money supply from the US since then. The orange arrow shows 1971. And when you look at the right side, where this hard line is going up. This was a corona pandemic. They created approximately 1/3 of all ever created US dollars. That's crazy. And this leads in a very unfair process. There are some companies, like the German Volkswagen Group, which sitting on $400 billion or euros in debt. Or companies like RWE or E.ON, large German energy companies, which are in debt by $100 billion. They take our effectiveness with this process, and we can't shut them down. Because if they have a bad behavior, we normally just can stop buying their products or services, and they can't produce more. They need to do what we want from them. But this is not the case we live in, because they can taking debts. And this results in the Cantillon effect, where the people and these companies which are in the top have the first money, and this money is starting to float in the society, but very slowly if you're in the end of this champagne pyramid. So this results in a wider gap between rich and poor, especially since 1971. You see, before 1971, there was a time frame where the gap between rich and poor was getting smaller, but after this, it's going crazy. And the people losing effectiveness to the upper 1% of this world. And we see our world, we see these companies, we see governments destroying our environment, our society, and we can do nothing. We can't be effective. And most people don't realize that the reason is our money system. The people try to bully each other again because they can't be effective with their money and their jobs. They realize something is going wrong. My world is destroying. You know that? They bully each other. Tell me, if you are in the traffic jam because someone is gluing on the street, you're angry about him. You're talking about it. The people gluing on the street because they are effective with this process. In a world where we lost effectiveness. We try to use our law for self-determination. We try to force others to not talk about things we don't like. And all process we can use in a world which is centrally managed is to try to manage the central system by creating more laws. But this is a reason for this whole desire. And in the end, you see, this is a register from the US regulations, and the added sites in this register are going crazy, especially since 1971. The reason is very simple. We try to be effective. Our money is not allowing us to be effective, so we try to do this with the system, which is stealing the effectiveness. And this is going so far that some young people do not have a perspective for their life, for the future, but everyone is trying to feel effective. You know this TikTok NPC trend? There's an actor, and you give a virtual banana or ice cream, and they're acting like an NPC, but you can give them something, and you see there's a reaction. That's nothing else than I press a button, I push a button, and I'm effective. A little bit. That's not a lot, I know, but it's a little bit. It's everything about effectiveness. Every one of us is trying to be effective all the time. Even states, and they fight each other. They fight for effectiveness. They take our effectiveness to fight each other. And then you ask and realize, why some people do not understand Bitcoin. Why is it so hard to bring this knowledge in some brains? The reason is very simple. Some of us are very effective. If you're in this process, you're happy. If you're a profiter from the Cantillon effect, you're happy. You are effective. That's the reason. They don't need Bitcoin because they are effective. People which are poor are these people which need Bitcoin and something to save your own purchasing power, to save your own effectiveness. So these guys realize they need Bitcoin. And I'm pretty sure the rich guys will need Bitcoin at the end as well. But they realize this very later. So everyone will get Bitcoin to the price he deserves. And it's always the question, take the blue pill, go in this matrix, live this matrix Fiat life, or take the orange pill and be effective for yourself. Save effectiveness in something they can't control. And we can build up a society with this new tool where all of you, but all countries, all companies, everyone can save effectiveness without to be in a strange level to the government, because no one can control Bitcoin. No one can control your own Bitcoin, but you can. And so we learn to create free markets. Again, we can use our money, we can push buttons with Bitcoin, we can be effective with Bitcoin, and can create a free society. But it's a very long process, and this process starts anew. You can repair what fiat money has destroyed over the years. Things in our society where we hate each other because we try to be effective, and we bully each other to be effective because we realize something is going crazy. My whole life is getting harder. I lose effectiveness. And when I bully other guys, I'm effective for a small moment. This is a high time preference. Can bring low time preference to our society. And I think Bitcoin is the best tool for this. Because you don't need to steal effectiveness anymore. You just can hold your own effectiveness. A low time preference is relaxing you because you realize if you want, you have a bunch of effectiveness in your Bitcoin wallet. If you want, but you don't have to. You don't have to play these stupid fiat games. You don't have to be a slave of a money system which is pushing out your purchasing power day to day to day. So, and in the end, it results in something very simple. And this is, you can use for yourself. Bitcoin brings you effectiveness. And that's all about. And that was my small presentation here at BTC Prague. Thank you for everything.